Well, a judge has postponed a decision on whether to undo President-elect Donald Trump's conviction in his hush money case. This comes after a U.S. Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. Now, back in May, a jury found Trump guilty of falsifying business records related to a hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels. Today, New York Judge Juan Merchan was supposed to rule on the case. Instead, the ruling has been delayed until November 19th, which is next Tuesday. Now, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins me now. Khalif, this decision keeps getting delayed. We're supposed to hear something in September, and then today, another postponement. Why does this keep happening?
Judge Merchan, I'll take the words right from his own mouth. He said that this is something that the court does not take lightly, that there are decisions that need to be made, and some of these decisions are impacted by things that are outside of his control. Specifically, this decision, this was a motion by his team to determine if the case should be overthrown, should the verdict be thrown out, I should say, based on the Supreme Court's ruling. Specifically, is the president immune to presidential acts? And because some of the evidence, not all of it, because all of the things that he was alleged of doing during that time, he wasn't in the office.
Correct.
But
he
was a citizen, but they did introduce evidence of text messages that the president or former president, now president-elect, did use during that time, and he was present with these text messages. So if you're going off the Supreme Court's ruling, you would think logically those things can't be used against him. And if that was considered, even if those text messages weren't the tip of the iceberg, but they were just something that the jury used to convict, if it was some of the evidence that was submitted back, then that was improper, and that was the motion that his team submitted. And so now you're asking, well, if you recognize this is there, why are we having these multiple delays? And the biggest thing I can say is we've never been in this situation before. This judge is really sitting here saying, how do I rule when I have nothing to look at? These cases of first impression are hard. If it's just a normal everyday citizen, it's a really hard situation when you're talking about the president of the United States, and specifically someone that just was elected, and now you have a potential to be doing some type of sentencing with this person. And so you need to figure out and make sure you have dotted all of your I's and crossed your T's. And I think he's doing the right thing, giving some more time to at least examine this.
Not to mention, you know, we're 1 week out from the election, and today that decision was delayed. And this isn't the only delay that we've seen. What else?
Not the only delay at all. I mean, the sentencing part as well. But it was supposed to sentence him immediately after, pushed it back to September, pushed it back again. And so I anticipate that it will be extremely unlikely that we'll see the former president, now again the president-elect, being sentenced at any time soon. I mean, technically, you would have a time where a person would get an opportunity, and both sides would get opportunities to do something called submit a sentencing memorandum. The judge would review that, and then they make their determination of what the sentencing would be at the sentencing hearing. Well, that's not happening because first you got to decide if this case should be overthrown, but then second, you have to be able to say, well, what does a proper sentencing look like? We know we're not talking about any type of jail time, so that's off the table. So now, what's the likelihood of him sentencing the president to do community service? I mean, is he sweeping steps in Times Square? Is he,
like,
is he getting on the subway wiping off graffiti? Like, no one knows what that would really look like, and I don't even understand how it could feasibly happen while he's actually attempting to run the country. And so I think it puts the judge in a very, very weird position. Now, we do have that the letter of law is supposed to be blind, that it's supposed to apply to every citizen. So you are balancing that, but it's real life that you recognize that you send him to community service, so you're now sending the Secret Service guys to community service, because they'll be out there doing it with them every day. So I don't know where you go from here.
And that's one case. Now, what about the other? He has 3 other criminal cases. Where do those stand right now?
The president-elect got elected with 4 criminal cases out there. So we got the 2 federal and we got the 2 state. I'll work with the one we've already talked about. We got New York, and we know that is a lot going on. Looking at the other 2 federal cases, you have the one in in Florida, where the judge dismissed the case, and Jack Smith and his team are appealing the decision. She specifically dismissed it, saying that Jack Smith was appointed improperly and illegally. Fast forward to the D.C. case. Judge Chuckin has put everything on hold. Jack Smith is over that case as well, and President Trump talked about that. He said, look, I can get rid of Jack Smith 2 seconds in. So around January, Jack Smith is probably going to be looking for a new job, because 2 seconds in, the current president-elect is going to be getting rid of him. And now the last one is Georgia, which is probably the muddiest of them all, because on Tuesday, not only did the President Trump win, finally Willis won as well. So you have two people that won the
people involved
election
in this case,
but you also have someone that she may not be able to prosecute this case. So there are so many moving parts here, but that's the only one that I can see going forward anytime soon. It's just time soon, maybe 4 years from now. It may not be today.
Yeah, 2029. Kali Frodes, thank you for your insight.